I'm traveling to a destination that is often referred to as an oasis, a utopian playground. Its desert landscape gives it an otherworldly feel where design meets function. It's a place where people have been traveling to since the 1920s in order to escape, to get back in touch, or just lounge. And even though people have been coming here for close to 100 years to relax, I don't plan on slowing down, as I try to enjoy everything that a famous city, an entire valley, and beyond has to offer. I'm in Greater Palm Springs, California.
Hi, I'm Samantha Brown, and I have been traveling the globe for 25 years. Here's a great episode of my Emmy Award-winning travel series, Places to Love. Like and subscribe to join me on my adventures. Let's go.
Greater Palm Springs is located in Southern California, 2 hours from Los Angeles. It's home to many desert cities and towns, and I'm starting at its most famous destination, Palm Springs.
Palm Springs is a unique travel destination in that it's a place that allows us to be somebody different than ourselves. There is a lifestyle here that we want to inhabit. And it's a way of life that you encounter in everything you do here, whether it's the shops on the main thoroughfare, to the artwork, and especially the homes.
Well, first of all, we have the largest concentration of mid-century modern architecture anywhere in the world.
In the world?
Palm Springs was built as a second home market, and people have a very different attitude towards their second homes than they do towards their primary residences. They're much looser. I'm Michael Stern. I am the author of 2 books about mid-century and modern architecture in Southern California. For the architects, they were liberated from the functionality of a primary residence. It wasn't a question of how much storage you need to put into the master bedroom, it was how much pleasure can my clients extract from this experience.
Michael is owner of the Modern Tour, the official tour of the Palm Springs Art Museum Architecture and Design Center.
The architecture is what put Palm Springs back on the cultural map. Sort of what Art Deco had done for Miami, mid-century modern has done for Palm Springs.
So if all the neighborhoods here have this wonderful architecture, well, what makes this block unique?
Well, these are the steel houses, designed by an architect named Donald Wexler. Every single one of these houses is exactly the same on the interior. They all have the exact same floor plan. But rather than make it feel like the cookie-cutter track that in fact it really is, they vary the roof lines and the exterior, so it'll feel more like a neighborhood as opposed to just a track.
So if it's steel, then it doesn't rust, it doesn't
No termites?
Leak. No termites, okay. So everything that the desert might, in terms
Absolutely.
of stress out a house, steel would keep it.
These things are tanks, I mean, they are serious. So the way these houses were built is there was a prefabricated core that was built in LA. There was the kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and all the mechanics of the house. They laid a slab foundation. They used a crane, dropped the core into the middle of the slab. The houses were built in 4 weeks, start to finish.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that makes mid-century modern so great is on an emotional level, you can feel the optimism of that era in post-war American culture. The future is going to be better. So people are looking forward with optimism, and you can actually feel the emotion of that being in these spaces where it's all about light. The indoor-outdoor thing is classic in Palm Springs. Most houses will have interior-exterior access from every single room in the house. So there's always a way to get outside, because you want to be outside.
About 2 miles away is another home that embraces the desert life, the Glass House, designed by the modernist architect William Cody.
I'll take it. This is gorgeous.
This is the house people think of when they think of the classic Palm Springs modern house. And also it's a see-through house, meaning you can see right through the house. It's all about bringing the outside in.
So this isn't the backyard?
No, this is the front.
To create the space, is this for privacy? They don't want the neighbors to see in?
It's private. It is about privacy and also no drapes.
Of course.
You want to let the light in, basically, and be as free as possible.
But then you don't want people to see what you're doing, so now you put the wall out here, and now you can keep everything.
And also because every house in Palm Springs has a pool.
Privacy and beauty are equally important here. You cannot build above 1 story in the city, which preserves the mountain and sky views and ensures no one can look down into your backyard.
It's all about pleasure. I mean, Palm Springs it's just about Southern California's pleasure at its maximum capacity.
And if you're going to live in a Palm Springs mid-century modern house, you're going to need to furnish it appropriately. Fortunately, there's Gypsyland, and you can tell this is the store for you even before you walk in.
When people are arriving in Palm Springs, are you one of the first stores they see?
I'm the first store, and it's the last store that you see when you come out of Palm Springs.
Palm Springs has an unbelievable amount of consignment shops, thrift stores, and furniture stores. Why do you think that is?
The houses in Palm Springs are basically from, not too many from the 30s, but 40s and 50s and 60s. That's mostly that's the houses back then. So people want to decorate their houses in the time period of the furniture. There's so many different styles that there's something for everybody.
And really, who isn't in the market for a bright yellow couch? That is gorgeous.
It's a really, really cool sofa.
I mean, you plan an entire room around this couch,
It's
right?
like Barbie furniture, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure a lot of the homes are decked out like this because there is an entertaining culture here as well. There's a lot of sort of see and be seen in your own home.
Right, people are really showy. They want to, they want to have the right piece. A lot of times people even, they rent pieces from different stores to make their parties look good. They want the right piece of artwork or the right piece of furniture, to make their house look great for these parties.
You can rent cool furniture? All right. I'm gonna need to rent this yellow couch. That's it, sign me up.
Okay, we'll lift you out in it on Palm Canyon in this dress.
I like it, Palm France, that's great.
In a way, you can rent out the modernist lifestyle. If you're not in the market for a mid-century home or furniture set, hotels let us play in the stylish way of life. And a big part of that way of life here is golf.
Roberto, when it's a beautiful day, I love to get out on a course.
Yeah, me too.
It's a gorgeous day. A little windy, though. Is that going to affect our game?
Not at all.
All right.
There are over 100 golf courses in the area, but I've come to the Desert Willow Golf Resort for something a little different.
Foot golf.
Foot golf.
Yeah!
The best game ever invented.
Even on a golf course.
Even a
We're
golf
gonna need
course.
one of these. Are we allowed to be on this course?
Yes,
are you
we
sure?
are. I told you, I pay for it.
My name is Roberto Balestrini, and I am the founder and chairman of the American Foot Golf League.
Nice.
You probably have not heard about foot golf, but this sport is played in 40 countries around the world professionally. In the United States, we have more than 500 courses in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Caribbean.
So is foot golf, is it a team sport or an individual?
No, it's an individual sport.
Okay.
But you can put a team together
All right.
and compete.
Is this a foot golf ball?
Yeah, it's a regular soccer ball.
It's a soccer ball.
Yeah, it's a regulation number 5 soccer ball.
Boom. Okay. Wow. Beautiful. Do we do it? No, okay.
It's on a kickoff.
Whoa. Wow.
Then you have the approach.
Okay.
And then you have the putt.
But you're Argentinian, right?
Yes.
So at what point in this game do I fall to the ground writhing in pain, holding my ankle when someone actually just brushed my shoulder?
Oh! My
the
God!
competition is on!
You know what? Roberto won't talk to you anymore.
Foot golf is played just like, well, golf, beginning with some basic skills that do require some practice.
That's so bad.
There are par scores for the different holes. There are drives and putts. And you do have to play the ball where it lays.
No, what are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Oh.
You have a red card.
Luckily, there are people who take this game seriously, and I'm learning from some heavy kickers, including a 2-time national champion in the senior division.
Nice.
As well as this impressive player, who happens to be the 2017 national champion in the women's division.
Just like golf, you've got to play the slopes, the angles, the rough, and just strategize.
The beauty about foot golf is a 4-year-old kid can kick the ball and walk towards a 21 inches cup located on the fairway. A 70 years old, an 80 years old can do the same thing. All you need is a soccer ball and kick and walk.
I'm now heading headed to Palm Desert right on the western edge of the Sonoran Desert, which makes the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens the perfect place to explore the plants and animals of deserts all over the world.
So how many animals do you have here?
450.
And they all need to eat, and 2 meals a day is fine for all the animals?
Well, not all of the animals necessarily get 2 meals a day. Most of them do.
Okay.
But we do have some animals that eat once a day. We have 2 primary commissary staff, and then we have 7 volunteers that help us out. Someone's on a station of birds, the herbivores, and then the carnivores. So.
Ooh, who gets to do the carnivores?
Thankfully, not me. However,
You might want to put some gloves on for this one.
All right, what's in there?
We're gonna touch some creepy crawly things. So now we're gonna go ahead and prep the Roadrunner diet. You're gonna toss some worms in there. We have some raw meat that you're gonna dip your hands into.
Can we go back to the herbivores?
I know, it's a lot cleaner. So we're gonna add 11 of these wiggly squiggly guys. So you wanna be kind of quick because these guys actually can bite.
No,
They
come on,
can.
Renee.
They can. Yes, you don't wanna hold them for too long.
Are you serious?
No, yes, I'm serious.
Oh my God.
So, I know, they're kind of creep me out still a little bit
Oh,
too.
okay.
But you can do it. You're bigger than the worm.
I'm bigger than the worm. I'm
Yeah,
bigger than the
so
worm.
you're
I'm
gonna-
bigger
1,
than
2,
the worm.
3, 4,
I went to
11.
college. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, see, I have heebie-jeebies like you would not
You
believe.
know, a lot of keepers do have a bug phobia
Is
when
that
they come
right?
here. Yeah, we just don't understand. Their bones are on the outside. It just doesn't make sense.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It was good. It was good.
I got him in the bowl.
I like it.
Just 10
You
more.
did. You got him in the bowl.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got to get 3 out
No,
of there.
we're gonna just call it enrichment. We're good. We're good. We're good. I'm not gonna make you do that.
Thank you.
It's fine.
I have to do this.
I don't know. You get pretty used to it.
fortunately, the Living Desert Zoo is filled with things that give you the warm fuzzies, including the state-of-the-art care the animals are given.
This is a little finnick fox named Pharaoh, and he's been limping, so we are going to do an exam on him and get some radiographs.
So she's gonna check all of his vitals, look into his ears, check his eyes, his teeth, his mouth.
The same way we would get an
The
annual
same way you would get an annual
exam. This to me is very rare that we are in the examination room and visitors are looking in at the same time. Usually I feel like I didn't know this existed in a zoo because I never get to see it, and yet you have floor-to-ceiling windows where we have a huge group of people watching this happen.
We offer this opportunity for our guests. This is just another wow opportunity that they get to see.
Yeah.
And the type of care that we provide our animals here at the Living Desert, and this is all part of it.
We're gonna clean his teeth today, too.
Oh, yay!
Here come those heebie-jeebies again.
Very good.
This is more like it. Bubble enrichment. Being a mom of young kids, I have some serious bubble blowing skills I know these meerkats are totally appreciating right now.
They wouldn't find bubbles out in the wild, most likely. So what these bubbles are actually mimicking is moths or butterflies that, you know, they would want to swat out of the sky.
Okay.
So by blowing these bubbles up for them, makes them kind of reach for it, work for it a little bit, investigate what it is, and that's something that they would naturally do out in the wild.
So I'm squeamish around worms, and I can't kick a soccer ball, but I think I'm a pretty good driver, and I could always improve my skills.
So Adam, I feel like most of us get all of our driving instruction when we were 15, and then nothing.
We basically reteach people how to drive.
So I'm relearning to drive at the BMW Performance Center outside of Palm Springs. But before I can do any of this, I need to check my rearview mirrors.
Most Americans, we like to see the rear edge of the car. It's a comfort thing for us. It's just so it's a reference. So when we adjust the side view mirrors, we're actually going to sit upright, then tilt our head to the left.
Tilt my head like this, okay. So the rear, kind of like that.
And what that's going to do is eliminate about 90% of your blind spot.
That's a really different spot for me.
It's a very different spot,
Okay.
yes.
And what about your right-hand mirror? What do you?
Same thing.
Same
Lean
thing?
your head to the right.
And just kind of the,
Adjust it out so the rear of the car just disappears out of view.
just disappears. Excellent. And so now the stunts.
Speed, neutral.
And this is so if I ever wanted to rob a bank, I would know how to get out of it. All good practical knowledge to have.
Correct.
So we're gonna start, and we're already in
And
reverse.
it's a quick motion.
Quick motion.
Off the gas. All right, pull back forward.
So we're gonna need a few more times.
Yeah, we're gonna need a couple more times. Yeah, we're gonna need a couple more times for sure.
Lift on the gas, you go into neutral, then I do shoom, and then shoom.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Floor it. Floor it, floor it, floor it. Off the gas. That was awesome. That was good. That was a good one.
Are there any positions here?
This isn't just a thrill ride. I'm learning to control the car in extreme driving conditions that really can happen at any time.
We're going to teach you how to correct a slide on a surface that's very similar to ice or snow.
So this is what they basically say in those car commercials, do not attempt,
Right.
but we're gonna attempt it.
Yes, we are.
What are the rules of correcting? So if I'm sliding to the right, do I correct to the right?
You absolutely do. So turn left, floor the gas pedal. Back to the right, back to the right. And off the gas. That was good. That was good.
Nice.
That was good.
Oh, sorry.
The class always finishes with what's known as the hot lap.
We'll have 2 hamburgers, 3 large fries, and 2 milkshakes. Thank you.
Well, Samantha, I would like you to try a date shake.
I have to.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So there are no chunks of dates in a date shake.
Right. Once we rehydrate the crystals and it becomes a paste, we put that in the bottom of the cup first, and then we add the ice cream, and then we add the milk. So 3 ingredients. Now, the longer you have, yeah,
So good.
is it?
Oh, yeah,
good.
it's childhood.
I'm so happy
It's
for you.
childhood, absolutely.
I'm Heather Rahman, and I love the Coachella Valley because it's rich with history. One of the important aspects of the Coachella Valley is its agricultural foundation, how many wonderful crops can grow here. And we grow dates.
Not just any dates. Heather and her husband Greg are the owners of Shields Date Garden in nearby Indio, California. Floyd Shields opened his farm and shop in 1924 and was one of the pioneers in the creation of new hybrid varieties of dates, some of which are still grown and enjoyed here today.
One of the first ones, I guess, that you should probably consider is Mr. Shields' signature date that he grafted, and that would be the blonde date.
Okay, so this is literally the date he brought into the world.
He did.
It did not
He did.
exist before him.
The brunette and the blonde are 2 in which he grafted, and you don't necessarily know what you're going to get, but it has a caramely taste.
I was gonna say it's sort of butterscotchy. I love it, like a little burnt sugar.
For some reason, we're not sure why, but men are attracted to that particular date. Who would have thought?
They prefer blondes, right?
Darn. Now, one of the old world dates.
Look at that. I mean, that looks like an old world date.
Abada.
Abada. And where is this from in the world?
I believe that one is Syrian.
Syrian.
I believe so. You like?
I love that. That's really special.
Good.
It's very slender. A lot of them are just big and juicy and sticky. This is a little more, I don't know, subtle?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say I have no idea where dates come from. I have no idea if you forage them off of bushes, if they grow out of the ground, do they grow on trees? I've never even thought of that.
They grow on palm trees near Palm Springs. And this 65-year-old grove behind Shields Garden is entirely dependent on the highly specialized work this man does. Juan Sevilla Ramirez is a 3rd-generation palmero. The date crop is his responsibility. But when the crop is over 3 stories high, I had another question.
To pollinate the tree, what do you need to do?
Okay, first, this tree is a female, and I have another here. That's male, so need to cut the flowers.
There are male and female trees?
Yeah, and then,
Okay.
Cut the flowers, collect the pollen, give it to all the palmeros and put it in a female.
You hand pollinate
Yeah.
each tree?
Each bunch.
Each bunch?
Yeah.
And how many bunches does a tree have?
A regular, that's 13, 15.
13.
Yeah, for a good crop, that's 60.
That's a good, that's a good crop.
Yeah.
When somebody says, what's your favorite date? And I always say, well, besides my husband, it's probably the medjool.
Well, I know you came up from the Coachella Valley, but this is considered the high desert.
Driving into Joshua Tree, there was all of a sudden a moment where all of these trees, we started to come into this sort of forest.
Yeah.
What climate creates the ability for these trees to grow?
It's literally the elevation.
Okay.
As you can tell by just the temperatures up here from where you left down below. One of the things that impresses people about Joshua Tree is the fact that many of these people come and they don't know what it's like to see 25, 30, 40 miles away. People that come from Europe, they swear they've been transplanted to another planet.
Of course, of course.
I'm George Land, and I'm a park ranger here at Joshua Tree National Park.
And of course it gets its namesake from these trees, the Joshua Tree.
The Yucca brevifolia, yeah.
Oh.
And named by the Mormon settlers that came through here in the mid-1800s. They thought they looked like the biblical character Joshua with his arms outstretched to the heavens. The name stuck. It's probably because it's a little easier to say than Yucca brevifolia.
Yeah, I think so too.
I've been a park ranger for 8 years. It's my third career, and I wanted to be a park ranger since I was a young boy.
Joshua Tree National Park is larger in area than the entire state of Rhode Island, and there's more here than just the famous trees and the powerful rock formations. George takes me to one of his favorite places to do a ranger-led tour.
This is just a classic example of what a old homestead in this area looked like, and how hardy the people had to be, how resilient and resourceful they had to be to carve out a life up here. It's called Keys Ranch, and it was named after Bill Keys. And he lived here until 1969 when he passed away.
1969?
And,
Someone lived here until 1969?
That's correct. Had 7 children.
My gosh, this really gives you an appreciation of what we have.
Oh, can you,
and how easy things are for us.
Samantha, people back then were hard.
Yes.
That lived out like this.
Yeah.
I mean, this was an incredible existence.
This was back-breaking work, and Bill Keys even had a solution for that.
Bill'd come out, he'd lay down on this bench. They'd fasten this around both of his feet.
Yeah.
He'd hook his arms over the top, and then either Francis or one of the kids would crank. And now that's innovative.
That is innovative.
That's like having a homegrown chiropractor right there. That was... I think the majority of visitors come here most surprised by the solitude and the beauty of the desert, while it's still a very live and vibrant place. I think the most important thing to take away is the fact that these places need to be protected in order to preserve them for generations to come.
Traveling to the Coachella Valley is an incredible experience for anybody. Just knowing how important history is to our valley and to our children and our next generation, and just looking back and understanding that your future is really built by your past.
This is a happy valley, you know that? I mean, we have 340 sunny days a year. You wake up every day, it's a sunny day, which puts people in a really good mood. So everyone's here for the same reason, which is basically to have a good time.
When a destination allows you to be someone else for a few days, when you get to enjoy a landscape that goes for miles and miles, when you can inhabit homes and homesteads of people far different than you.
Who's making us the martinis?
That is when we share a love of travel.
That's pretty good.
And that's why Greater Palm Springs in California is a place to love.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Places to Love. What was your favorite scene? Be sure to leave a comment. Now, for a full itinerary of this episode, click here. It is a great travel planning tool. And here, if you want to watch more full episodes. And of course, subscribe to my channel to see new episodes as they are released. Hope to see you out there.